this government of Israel is a terrorist government. It is a terrorist state that we in America are enabling by constantly funding them.
A chilling investigation by The Guardian uncovered a disturbing wave of Israeli sniper killings in Gaza, targeting unarmed civilians and even children. And one of the soldiers implicated in the investigation was caught on an undercover journalist's hidden camera, showing no remorse for his killing of multiple unarmed civilians. Take a look.
שוב, זה חיסון ראשון שלי. לא הבנתי מה הוא עושה, הוא ראה חבר שלו עומד. אתה לא יודע שיעשו לו אותו דבר? אני לא יודע אם מישהו שלח אותו, קשה לי להבין למה הוא, וגם לא כזה מעניין אותי. הוא בא לגרור, אולי היה על המודיעין, אולי הוא היה בכיר, כאילו מה היה כל כך חשוב מהגופה הזאת, אבל בא לגרור אותו, התכופף לתפוס אותו, ונתתי כדור אחד, פגעתי בו בראש.
That was Daniel Raab, an Israeli-American IDF sniper. We'll tell you more about the victims and what the investigation uncovered. But first, Cenk, what do you make of this? What do you make of this clip and how he's acting?
So I think that that some people in the Israeli government, in the IDF, have lost their humanity. And there's a reason why I've been calling them a lot of harsh words like terrorists and fascists, because this is how fascists act. They think, who cares about other human beings? They're not really human. The dehumanization always comes first. And look, a lot of this we learned when we studied the Holocaust and other genocides. You have to dehumanize them so that it makes it easier to kill them. And a lot of that has happened, unfortunately, in Israel. And Gaza is being made to pay the price for that loss of humanity. And look, most of the time, Jordan, people have to look at themselves in the mirror and they make excuses, and then they get themselves to believe things that are unbelievable. Like, oh yeah, murdering people is a great idea. That is what a moral army would do. Sniper shots, oftentimes to kids. American doctors reporting a shocking number of sniper shots for kids under the 5 and under in Gaza. That they somehow convince themselves that that's the moral thing to do. And in the case of Israel, it's because if we're all being honest about it, there's a mass paranoia in that country. We're all gonna be killed at any moment. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. The world's gonna kill us. Everyone in the world hates us, and it's all their fault. And we have to kill them first before they kill us. They're all terrorists. They're all Nazis. We'll have to kill them. We have to kill them. We have to kill them before they kill us, right? And they get themselves to believe that they're the good guys for doing that. And then, so that's already disastrous. And then there's a smaller group of people who seem to relish it, and who seem to have lost their entire humanity. And maybe they were made for a moment like this. And we saw that during the Holocaust too, and in every genocide. When the ugliest form of humanity arises for that moment, those are the guys who've been waiting for this. And when a government has empowered people like that, it is completely lost to the dark side. And unfortunately, what we've seen over the last 2 years in Israel has been nothing but the dark side. And look, we could keep yelling at each other, but if you can't see at this point that what's happening in Gaza is sick, again, you've lost a piece of your humanity, and I really hope for your sake that you get it back. And for the rest of us, the great majority of you watching, we're all doing the best we can. We're all trying to end this. We're all trying to stop this. And there's a lot of ways to do it, and I'll tell you about one way to do it in a second. But I mean, when I was growing up, I wondered what I would do if I was around during the Holocaust. What wouldn't you do to stop it? And so here we are, and there's a genocide happening right in front of our eyes. There's testimony like this all the time. And as we see people being slaughtered day after day after day, and the starvation is set in, and they're routing Gaza City as we speak, and then they murdered the peace negotiators for both Iran and Hamas, or they tried in Hamas's case and murdered some other people in that organization in Qatar the other day. And so this is a sick, decrepit government that is producing sick people that do things like this.
Yeah, well, let's get into more of what The Guardian found. Now, this investigation identified 6 people that were gunned down by IDF snipers in northern Gaza on November 22nd, 2023. 4 of those people were members of one family. One was 19-year-old Salem Doghmosh, who Daniel Raab admitted to killing only because he tried to retrieve the corpse of his older brother, Muhammad. Neither Muhammad nor Salem were armed. But in November 2023, Israeli forces operating in the area decided that section of Monir al-Reyes Street was off limits to civilians without notifying Palestinians. Raab described it as a combat zone where any man of military age was marked for death. As you saw in the undercover video, Raab defended killing Salem by saying the dead boy may have had intelligence on him. But the carnage didn't end there. After Salem was shot, his father, Montasser, 51, rushed to the site and tried to collect his son's bodies for burial, but was also fatally injured by a sniper. "My boys," was all he could say when he saw them lying dead in the street. He tried to approach them and was shot. Raab said, "They just kept on coming to try to take these bodies." Now, to be clear, the recovery of dead bodies is protected under international law. The Israeli military's own regulations also stipulate that people collecting bodies are not legitimate targets, according to former soldiers and Asa Kasher, who co-authored the Israeli Defense Forces ethics code. Then snipers targeted a cousin who The Guardian calls Khalil after he raced to help Montasser. "I had taken about 8 to 10 steps carrying him when I was shot, and it felt like my arm was blown off," said Khalil, who managed to stagger out of range before losing consciousness. Khalil managed to survive, but a cousin of the Doghmosh brothers, who was also shot by Raab's partner that day, was killed. Somehow, it gets even more disgusting because the video of Salem's killing and footage of other attacks on unarmed Palestinians was posted online 5 months after his death, part of a montage made by a soldier called Shalom Gilbert to celebrate a deployment in Gaza. A team led by Palestinian journalist and activist Yunus Tarawi interviewed Raab, who said he and another sniper carried out 3 of these killings. He didn't name the other sniper, but was identified as Daniel Greitz, who grew up in Munich, Germany. They were part of a sniper team who called themselves Rephaim or Ghost. When asked how his squad decided whether to shoot unarmed Palestinians, Raab said, "It's a question of distance. There is a line that we define. They don't know where the line is, but we do." He also bragged about the number of Palestinians he had killed during his time in Gaza. Take a look.
לפחות 100. יצאנו, כשאני השתחררתי מהצוות, אמרנו ב-105 באזור הזה, היום אני מניח, לפחות. זה יהיה, זה לא אותו קצב של הלחימה, אבל אני מניח 120. שזה מרשים ברמות, כן.
Now, the IDF didn't respond to specific questions about the killings of the Doghmosh family, instead only claiming that they respected rules of engagement. Now, Cenk, I want to get your thoughts here, but I want to point out this war criminal, Daniel Raab, was quoted in multiple stories about campus anti-Semitism just a few years ago and how he felt unsafe on college campuses. What do you, when I saw that earlier today, I couldn't believe it. Of all people to complain about that.
No, I believe it, because that is how a lot of pro-Israeli supremacists and thugs act. They're like, oh yeah, I murdered 105 Palestinians in cold blood, but you said something about Israel. Oh my God, I'm so offended. Oh my God, I feel endangered. Oh my God, you're such a terrible anti-Semite for complaining about me being a Nazi. So let me be very, very clear. Daniel Raab is a modern day Nazi SS soldier. That, like, if you put that in a Holocaust museum and said that we got old tape from a Nazi talking about killing Jews with glee, no one would be surprised. They'd think, yeah, that makes sense. That's him, right? You're talking about killing Jews in Germany, right? No, now it's Israelis doing it to Palestinians, talking about, oh yeah, bragging, laughing about how they murdered innocent people and how it was fun. And then he said his death count was impressive. No, you psycho. It's not impressive. You're a coward who shot them from a distance when they were unarmed and you knew that they posed no danger. That's not impressive. Israel and the IDF at this point is enabling and empowering serial killers. Like, oh, we found a serial killer, great, let's get him to the front. He'll murder more innocent civilians. So they have a kill zone. And we all know this because this happened a while back. They killed their own hostages. And not only were they Israelis, not only were they hostages who had escaped, but they were waving white flags. And the IDF murdered them. Why? Because they were in a kill zone. And their order was to murder everyone in the kill zone. How could it be unintentional if you have orders to kill everyone in the area? Shireen Abu Akleh, before October 7th, was one of the most prominent Palestinian journalists and an American. Shot in the neck from hundreds of yards away from us with a sniper. All the doctors talking about the kids shot by snipers. The Israelis are literally murdering civilians, reporters, kids, family members that they know to be civilians, they know are unarmed, they know not to be a danger, because this government of Israel is a terrorist government. It is a terrorist state that we in America are enabling by constantly funding them. Marjorie Taylor Greene just introduced 2 amendments just on Monday of this week, saying defund 2 recent things that were in the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, of $500 million and $125 million. Don't send it to Israel anymore. They're in the middle of a genocide and they have nuclear arms. They have the biggest military in the Middle East. They don't need us, right? They wouldn't even allow it for a vote. They're like, how dare you even question Israel? No, Israel must be allowed to commit a genocide. Israel must be allowed to be a terrorist state. Israel has SS soldiers like this now who brag about being enormous murderers of innocent people. And then when you say to them, hey, that is literal terrorism, when you intend to kill everyone in a certain area, they go, anti-Semite. No, the real problem is Daniel Raab feels unsafe. Oh, you criticized Israel. Oh, that hurt my feelings slightly. That's way more important than all the Palestinians I slaughtered. So are we gonna bring him to The Hague? Are we gonna have war crime charges against them? No, because Israel is all powerful. He will be celebrated, and instead, Congress will ask him, oh my God, how unsafe were you on campuses? Oh, you didn't even get to murder any Palestinians there. Oh, well, that's not right. He doesn't feel safe if he can't murder everyone around him. We are paying for these particular Nazis. And so I don't care if you're offended by that at all. If you're offended by that, you're a terrible person and you're deeply racist. So if you say, oh, Jews being killed in the Holocaust, heartbreaking, terrible. We all agree, I 1 billion% agree with you. If you then turn around and go, oh, Palestinians being murdered by our SS soldiers, who cares? Kill them all. We haven't killed enough in Gaza. Murder more of them. Well, what does that make you? What does that make you? This has absolutely, positively nothing to do with self-defense. This is about murder, mayhem, and genocide to take Gaza for greater Israel. It is one of the most disgusting acts of humanity I have seen in my lifetime. And they're not doing it because they're Jewish. Guys, Cambodians did it, the Turks did it, the Germans did it, the Serbs did it. It's humanity, it's in all of us. But at the same time, you don't get to say, we're a Jewish state, so we're allowed to do it. We have a special exemption on genocide. We're allowed to commit a new genocide. No, you're not. No, you don't have any special exemptions. I don't care what the powerful in this country say. And the powerful in this country are deeply corrupt, and almost all of them work for Israel. And I don't care if you cry about that. I don't care if Daniel Raab's precious, precious feelings have been hurt by an obvious and irrefutable fact. Over 90% of our Congress has gotten money from the Israeli lobby, overwhelming money, hundreds of millions of dollars. And all of them, and if you believe our disgusting corporate media, coincidentally all vote for Israel no matter what. You ethnically cleanse, you slaughter people. My God, over 20,000 dead children. And our Congress goes, oh, did the check clear? Did the Israeli lobby check clear? I am controlled by them, so I will vote for more murder and genocide. That is what our sick, corrupt politicians in America are doing. And so don't tell me they don't work for Israel when I see the paycheck and I see their votes. And nothing can move them off that vote. They will vote for genocide until the end of time, both Republicans and Democrats, because they are the worst of us. They are the most disgusting people in the whole country. And they will vote for any genocide of any country as long as they're paid, as long as they're bribed. It's just that the Israelis are the first to figure it out. I'm sure all other countries now are scrambling. Oh, it turns out US Congress is for sale. They have the most disgusting people in the whole world who are their politicians. They can be bought for anything. You could even get them to not only authorize, look the other way, but to finance ethnic cleansing. If you want to slaughter people like Gaza, 90% of the buildings are destroyed. The whole place is a slaughterhouse. And now all the world's worst despotic dictators are thinking, well, we have the Israeli example. All you have to do is legally bribe the American politicians, and they'll let you slaughter anyone. And they'll finance your disgusting war crimes. And then you should always add some racial angle. Oh, let's say the Saudis want to do it as they did to Yemen, and by the way, we back that too. Because the Saudis also paying people off. So they're like, oh, they're murdering and slaughtering and starving the people of Yemen? Oh, good, yes, they're our special ally, right? And I'm sure that if you criticize, they say, oh, Islamophobic, right? Now that one doesn't work as well. It doesn't work at all in America, right? But when you get out the very, very special magical word in America, anti-Semite, everyone loses their mind, their brain falls out of their head, and they're like, oh, we must support a genocide, otherwise our lives will be ruined because we'll be called hateful for not wanting to murder people with our money. And that's a sick state of America now, let alone Israel. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.